Welcome to a Harsh Reality broadcast on the 27th of May 2013. Regulars to my channel will have noted that I did a broadcast on the 20th of February 2013 which was titled, Markets Rise, Gold Falls, Why I Think a Reversal Will Take Place Later in 2013. Then on the 28th of April 2013 I produced a video titled, Markets Rising, Gold Falling, Cyprus Calm, Reality Suspended, We Ain't Seen Nothing Yet. The problem is, governments are trying to buy time. I truly believe that we are heading for a major crash in the financial markets, and I also believe the crash will be far worse than in 1929. The reason why I think the crash will be far worse is because we are now a global economy and are trying out very dangerous practices such as quantitative easing. The fact that we have to use quantitative easing means that we are already in a very dire position. Normally you would simply reduce interest rates to stimulate demand in an economy, however interest rates have been very low for a long time now, and that in itself is failing to get the economy stimulated. I really don't think much more time can be bought by our governments, and reality is now around the corner. The purpose of this video is now to help prepare ourselves mentally for the future. Please don't bury your head in the sand. It is a strategy that will not work. This is now the time to face the harsh reality. I have to be honest, I have had a comfortable life. I have been very fortunate and this has shaped my outlook. However, I am a reflector, and make every effort to see matters from other people's point of view. The fact that I have been fortunate to know it, hopefully gives me a balanced outlook. I often think, how would I view the world if I had to struggle on a daily basis, worrying if I could manage to feed my family? I know that money cannot guarantee happiness, but I also know poverty can guarantee misery. I have come to the conclusion that I would really struggle should I be faced with poverty in future years. It's an awful thought, but being realistic, it is a future I may have to face. Regulars to my channel know that I have bought gold and silver over the last few years. I have only bought gold and silver as a hedge against inflation. I did not buy them to make a profit. To be honest, I would not like to see gold and silver skyrocket. I know many people are hoping for this, but I don't think those people have really thought things through. If gold and silver were to skyrocket, that would indicate economic collapse, resulting in a devastating standard of living for the average person. The trouble is, I can only see economic collapse ahead, therefore gold will rise, and the reason is quite simple. Politicians are deferring reality with quantitative easing, low interest rates, ignoring the debt ceiling, failing to make the necessary financial cuts when the fiscal cliff issue had to be faced on the 31st of December 2012, it's because the problems have been ignored. A catastrophic future awaits us. Believe it or not, we will look at the past few years as a stable period. We will also look back over the last 40 years and see them as a golden time. Unfortunately, the golden time we have experienced was only an illusion, built upon unsustainable debt. I am now going to tell you as it is. We should not have been given the opportunity to have such a high standard of living. We have been living in a fool's paradise that was created out of unsustainable debt. We simply borrowed money from the future to keep our lifestyle going on for as long as possible. All I can say is that the party is over. So, how do I see the future panning out? I see more of our freedoms taken away as governments become more desperate. I see more bail-ins, as I truly believe Cyprus was a template. I see social unrest as reality sets in. I can see an explosion of mental illness, following a very stressful period trying to adapt to the new reality. Don't forget, we have had a couple of generations that have had a stable environment and a good standard of living. I am pulling no punches here, but there are too many young people that have had too much of their own way, and have been softened up. Wow, when reality hits them, It's going to be very hard. What I don't see is a Mad Max scenario, because we as a society will be willing to exchange our freedoms for security. The economic collapse, in my view, will mean that our standard of living will significantly fall. A much more draconian government to help maintain some sort of control during periods of social unrest and unstable working conditions. That's the paradigm shift I see taking place. It's very sad that it will take place, because it could easily have been avoided if politicians were brave enough to state the truth. Hey ho, as I have said before, who would have voted in a government that promises a modest standard of living when they can vote for a government that can promise a high standard of living? We are partly to blame for this awful financial mess. Many of us don't think things through. As Tracy would say. As I say to Tracy, the problem is, tomorrow comes,